Shalom Aleichem and welcome to Online Smicha. The Gemara Megillah goes through the calendar year and states which Torah portions are read on what days of the year, what Yom Tovim, what portion is connected to that holiday. So when it comes to Rosh Hashanah, the Gemara says, Kairim b'Rosh Hashanah b'Chodesh Hashvi, that you read the Torah portion, you read b'Chodesh Hashvi, umaftirin haben yakir li'Ephraim, and the Haftarah is the Haftarah of haben yakir li'Ephraim. However, there's another opinion that says that you read v'Hashem pakad as Sarah, the story how Hashem remembered Sarah and she was blessed with a child, umaftirin b'Chana, and the Haftarah is the story of Chana. Lahalacha, we see that it's brought in Shulchan Aruch that in the first day we read the story of Chana, the story of Sarah, and the story of Chana. What's the story? What is the connection between the story of Chana giving birth to Shmuel Hanavi, and Rosh Hashanah? So the Gemara elsewhere in Brachos, Daf Chavtes and Yavamis, Daf Samach Daled, and Gemara Rosh Hashanah, the Gemara says, Rosh Hashanah nifkedu Sarah, Rachel, v'Chana. Three giants amongst Klal Yisrael. Sarah Imenu, our mother Sarah, Rachel, and Chana. These three giants were blessed with children on Rosh Hashanah. What exactly that means that we're blessed with children on Rosh Hashanah? So Rashi explains that on Rosh Hashanah, we know there's a set of tefillos which are called zichronos, where Hashem remembers us. So on Rosh Hashanah, this is the words of Rashi. Ba zichroinam letova, Hashem remembered these three, Sarah, Rachel, each in their time, Sarah, Rachel, and Chana. Hashem remembered them for good. V'nigzar aleim hiroyon, and that one of the Rosh Hashanahs of their lives, Hashem made a gzeira, made a decree that they should be blessed with pregnancy. So it seems to be that when you say that Rosh Hashanah, these three women were blessed, is not they became pregnant then, not they had their child then. Just it was a proclamation, it was an announcement that they are going to be blessed, and they have the permission to have hiroyin, to become pregnant. And the question is obvious, and many achrayim ask this question. Rosh Hashanah isn't kol b'nei olam oivim l'fanecha kivnei marayin. All mankind walks by HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and Hashem signs and seals their future year. So what is so unique about these three Rosh Hashanah, these three Chana, Sarah, and Rachel, that they got blessed? Doesn't it happen to everybody? And one of the answers which is given, that a typical situation in Rosh Hashanah is a time of discussion, and Yom Kippur is the time of decision making. So a regular story, a regular individual, Mishas, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, the final verdict comes out on Yom Kippur. Whereas these three giants, Sarah, Rachel, and Chana, already on Rosh Hashanah, they already had their besura. They were given the permission, the bracha, the blessing to have hiroyin. That's one of the Mefarshim, how he explains the greatness of this bracha. So we see right away that there is a connection between the birth, the blessing that Sarah had after many years to have a child, Yitzchak, and the blessing that Chana has, that she will be blessed with a child after many years, and eventually she has the great Shmuel Hanavi. So that's what it says. Rashi says, HaKadosh Baruch Hu poiked ha'akares. HaKadosh Baruch Hu listens to women who don't have children, who are crying for children. Lishmaya tfilasam, Hashem listens to their prayers by Rosh Hashanah. V'goizer aleim hiroyin. So this is the reason why perhaps the story happened on Rosh Hashanah, the fact that Hashem blessed them, and it teaches everyone in that situation, or everyone in their own personal needs, to remember and to realize, look what happened to Chana, look what happened to Sarah. They davened and their prayers were answered, and Hashem answered that, blessed them on Rosh Hashanah. It goes a little deeper than this, or a little more detailed. The Zohar actually says it even more in detail. According to this Rashi we just mentioned, comes out that they must have prayed whenever they were praying. They were answered. They were given the privilege of the good news that they will get blessed on Rosh Hashanah. The Zohar actually says that the actual prayer that we are going to learn about, that Chana prayed for children, that prayer happened on Rosh Hashanah, because it begins. We're going to learn later on a pasuk that says, "Vayehi hayoim." It was that day, and then Chana was davening. Says the Zohar, "Vayehi hayoim da Rosh Hashanah." That's a Rosh Hashanah. So the day Chana prayed for her child, and the day she actually, as we know now, she got blessed, the good news that she will have a child, all happened on the day of Rosh Hashanah. The Shalah also says that the Tfilas Chana, which is part of the Haftarah today, it happened on Rosh Hashanah. The Chassam Sofer says this, and there are many halachas that we learn out from the fact that the story that we're going to learn actually happened on Rosh Hashanah. The Chassam Sofer in Shulchan Aruch, and Orach Chaim Siman Tov Pei Aleph, pushes away the suggestions that some make that perhaps not only she got blessed or she prayed on Rosh Hashanah, maybe she actually became pregnant on Rosh Hashanah. Some say that Chana and Elkanah had relationship on Rosh Hashanah, and that relationship, she became pregnant with the great Shmuel Navi. The Chassam Sofer in Shulchan Aruch says it cannot be, because there are many discussions in the halacha if you're allowed to have a relationship on Rosh Hashanah, and from details of the story, says the Chassam Sofer, you could see that it's all happening in the middle of the day. Their discussion, how the prayer, and she answered. So it looks like he has different proofs to prove that she did not become pregnant Rosh Hashanah. Rather, either her prayers were on Rosh Hashanah, and her prayers were answered already on Rosh Hashanah. So this is the basic reasons that say why we should read the story of Chana on Rosh Hashanah. As we're going to go through this, you're going to find there are so many lessons that could be learned from this story, and believe it or not only lessons in how you should daven, etc. Many halachas in Hilchas Tefillah or Hilchas many other halachas we learn out from these one or two chapters. Just halachas that we learn from the event, how Chana responded to Eli, how Eli talked to, and what, etc. As we will discuss this as we go through the psukim. Before we start, I want to tell you what the Meiri writes. The Meiri writes that we read this parsha of Chana. We speak about this parsha of Chana, Rosh Hashanah, is to tell us, to remind us, you know that Rosh Hashanah nifkada Sarah, Rachel, v'Chana. On Rosh Hashanah, Sarah, Rachel, v'Chana were answered and remembered and answered their prayer. Al Yodei Tefillah. It's all because they davened, Hashem listened. So we mentioned this. We spent time on Rosh Hashanah quoting these psukim to remind ourselves that today is the time that we have to daven. And if we daven properly, Hashem answers. So this is an introduction, the background, what it says in Gemara, it says in Poskim, why we read this story on Rosh Hashanah. And now let's get to reading the story inside. Obviously, you know that this is in Nevi'im, in Seder Nevi'im, it's Shmuel, and it starts in the beginning of Shmuel, right in the beginning. So the pasuk says like this. We're going to get some history background, who, what, when, and where, and how it leads to Chana crying, Chana davening. Her prayers get answered. If you want to divide this Haftarah, these 1.5 chapters, it basically goes like this. In the beginning, it speaks a little about the who, the what, the history. Who is Chana? Who is her husband? What was bothering her? Then the second part is how she expressed what was bothering her, the discussion, the debate between her and the Kohen Gadol, Eli, and how Eli blesses them and tells them you're going to be fine, you're going to be blessed. And the last part is how Chana thanks Hashem. So there is the history, there is the prayer, and then there is the tefillah at the end where she thanks Hashem for blessing her. That's categorizing the whole Haftarah into 3 categories. So in the beginning it goes like this. Pasuk Aleph. Vahiya ish echad min haramasayim tzoifim. There was a man. It's a very strange expression. There was a man, and then you're going to say his name. Usually you say a story. You say there was this man called Elkanah, and you're giving him a title. So the Mefarshim say that whenever it says Ish Echad, it's an honorable title. This was a special man. Min haramasayim tzoifim, literally translated from Ramasayim tzoifim. That's the place. Mehar Ephraim, from Mount Ephraim. But when you look at Rashi, Rashi brings 2 opinions. What does Ramasayim tzoifim mean? One opinion says Ramasayim tzoifim means there were 2 big mountains. There was an area where there were 2 big mountains, and both of them had very tall, very high peaks. And each one, there were people living on the top of this mountain, people living on top of that mountain, and they were able. Tzoifim means to see. Ramasayim is the peak of a mountain. So there were 2 big mountains which were adjacent to each other, and that's what the neighborhood was. So that's where he's from, Ramasayim Tzoifim, and that's why it's plural, Ramasayim. But then the Rashi brings from the Targum that says Ramasayim Tzoifim is not necessarily the name of the neighborhood. Ramasayim Tzoifim is this individual comes from a group of people who were Tzoifim, who were able to see very far. What is that? Says the Targum, Mitalmidei Nevi'aya. He was a student, a descendant from Nevi'im. Elkanah is one of the Nevi'im. He's able to see the future. He has Ruach HaKodesh. Ushmai, the Mefarshim say, and the Gemara lists it off in the Gemara Megillah, that there were 200, just about 200 Nevi'im amongst Klal Yisrael, and he's reckoned as one of them. Who's he? Ushmai, Elkanah, and this person's name is Elkanah, ben Yerocham, the son of Yerocham, ben Elihu, ben Toichu, ben Tzuf, Ephrasi. What does Ephrasi mean? Ephrasi also has 2 translations. Ephrasi could either mean he's from Shevet Ephraim, and Ephrasi could mean, like we said a minute ago, Mehad Ephraim, a mountain, Mount Ephraim, or Ephrasi is a title. Oh, this is a governor. It's a title of an honorable person. So we know of an individual called Elkanah, a special man called Elkanah. V'lo shtei nashim. Elkanah had 2 wives. Shem achas Chana, v'shem ashenis Penina. The first wife was called Chana. I shouldn't say the first, because we'll soon see it's not necessarily he married Penina first. Shem achas Penina. One wife was called Shem achas Chana. The first wife. One wife was called Chana. V'shem ashenis Penina, and the second wife was called Penina. Vayi Vayehi lepnina yoladim, and Hashem made it that Pnina had children. Ulechana ein yoladim. Chana did not have any children. Obviously, a woman that without children is very hurt, they're very down. Says the pasuk Gimel, V'ala ishahu me'iroi miyamim yamima. This individual, again, we don't call him by his name anymore. This great man, Elkanah, would go up from his city, miyamim yamima, from day to day. Now, what it means, miyamim yamina, day to day, from time to time, Rashi brings that he would either go from Yom Tif to Yom Tif, or others say once a year. Let me explain what this is. This is a very big fundamental point in this parsha. Elkanah would take his family miyamim yamima lehishtachavos, to prostrate, ulezvayach laHashem, and to slaughter and to bring karbonis laHashem tzivakos b'shiloi. He made a point to go miyamim yamima, as I will soon explain, to go daven in. Obviously, it's before the Beis Hamikdash. It's before daven and Shlomo. So it's in the Mishkan was in Shiloi. He made a point to go to Mishkan Shiloi. When did he go, and how did he go? So this is the phenomenal beauty of what Elkanah did. Some stress that Elkanah made it his mission either every Yom Tif, to go to Mishkan Shiloi as sort of a chiyuv of aliyah l'regel. You have to be oila l'regel, so every Yom Tif he went. As mentioned before, some say that's nothing special about him. If there is a chiyuv for everybody to go oila regel, what's so great about what he did? The answer is he even went on Rosh Hashanah, as we see soon that the Zohar says, and many other poskim say, that this story took place on Rosh Hashanah, and Rosh Hashanah is not one of the three regalim. He went, number one. Number two, when he went with a trask. He didn't just go. He took his whole family with him, as the story goes. He took Penina and her children. He took Chana. He took them all. But even better than that, Chazal tell us that when he went with the shturim, he went every time in a different direction. Why? So if the first time he went going through this town, and all the people of the town see a caravan of a bunch of people traveling, they start asking questions. You're asking questions? Who, what, when, where? What do you mean? Mishkan Shiloi. It's Mishkan, it's Yom Tif, we got to go. So as he started off the journey himself with his family. He riding towards Mishkan Shiloi, he made it his point to have a lot of tag-alongs. People came along and joined him because of the excitement and the beauty, what he showed, what it means to go to Mishkan Shiloi. Some say that this is another point why we stress this Haftarah to be read on Rosh Hashanah. Because Rosh Hashanah is the opening of the judgment. So we think to ourselves, what could help? We all want to find different things to help our outcome. So we know from Elkanah, the Chazal tell us that the Yalkut says, Amalei HaKadosh Baruch Hu,